Thank you very much, Mark. And we began this session with a global giant cyber enterprise, RSA, and I'm going to finish this session with another major key player, global giant, FireEye. Please welcome David Grout, the pre-sales director of Southern Europe. Welcome him. Thank you.
Hi everyone, thank you very much to be there today. I think I'm the last one of the presentation for these specific topics, and I will try to not spend 45 slides and 3 videos to show you what we are doing and what is the business we are driving on. My name is David. I will say that one of the exceptions and one of the difference I will bring to you is that I'm not American, I'm not English, I'm just European, and maybe as Europe we are seeing the security a little bit differently. The maturity level is a little bit different if you are looking on the company. Even the regulation are totally different. And what I will try to bring here is really my European vision on where we need to go and how we need to build up the strategy to be strong on cyber. The idea of my presentation is really to show you what is the plan and what is the journey you need to take in place or to put in place to build up a strong cyber security strategy. And I will start with a discussion around the landscape. And to make it happen, I will just move forward on the animation. But the idea is that if you want to build up a strategy, you need to understand what you are looking for. We talk about the business-driven stuff. We need also talk about the threat landscape. And the idea is to understand what we are looking after. And what we are looking after is clearly innovation. If you are looking on the Cyber Week, if you are looking the week here, you can see innovation everywhere. Talking about IoTs, talking about drones, connected cars, all those kind of innovation are clearly the way where we need to go if we want to improve our business, our profitability, and our margin. It is all about business. Security needs to be here to enable the business. And to enable the business, you need to take into account the innovation, the cloud, the new stuff you need to protect. The second main streams when you are looking around the landscape and what is in front of us is, I will say, the complexification of the malwares. And not only the malwares. We talk about during the presentation this morning a lot around the malware, but you need to keep in mind that the malware are only used for the foothold during an APT attacks, for example. After the footholds, everything is made by using standard tools already deployed in your own organization. If you are only thinking about the malware and how to tackle the malwares, you are only thinking about 10 to 12% about the stuff that you need to focus on. The reality is that the hackers or the attackers in general, they will use Windows services, Windows tools, Linux, different rights on Active Directories you already have in your network. They will not use only malwares, and I think this is something you need to keep in mind and take away from this presentation and for the day and even for the week. Don't think only about the malware, otherwise you will lose. If you are looking about the cyber security strategy we are putting in place since a decade, the idea is that we missed something. It's always easy for marketing people to say, I have the new idea and I will say, rebuild the global strategy over the world. The reality is that 10 years ago, we didn't talk about the same things. It was configure, some other SASR stuff, and the approach was totally different. We thought about something named the reactive security strategy. The idea is that we need only to collect logs, building some correlation rules, and wait for the alerts. The idea is that with new stuff we are putting in place, with new usage we are developing in enterprise, we need to think about another way to approach the security. We need to be more proactive and change the way that we are tackling the security. By the way, we cannot change like this in one day to another. We need to continue to manage what we did in the past, and mainly to clean up the noise, I will name it the noise, with all the stuff you already deployed, firewall, AV, you name it. And you need to build up a new process and new strategy to think about the future, how you want to be protected for the future and the next steps. And this is what I will cover today with what I named the intelligence-led security approach. But before all of this kind of stuff, you need to think about what you are looking after. You need to be sure that you have a plan, because everything is starting with a plan. If you haven't any plan, if you don't know what you are looking after, you cannot do it. And if you want to take only one takeaway from the presentation, if you want to build a cyber strategy plan, you need to put in place metrics. You see what I mean? To say that you blocked 100,000 malware during the day is not a metrics. Nobody knows if it's good or bad. If you are coming to see me and we open up the discussion and you send me, oh, today we blocked 100,000 malware, good. I don't know if it's good or bad. I don't know your business. I don't know how you are exposed. I don't know what you are doing, how you block them, and all this kind of stuff. You need to be sure that you build up a plan where you define the metrics, what you are looking for, how you want to be protected, and what is the level of protection you want to put in place. And you need to assess, design, and redesign by cycles the plan you are putting in place. Because you will introduce new usage, new application, new tools, maybe new organization inside your organization, and you need to be sure that you understand how it will impact your plan. And what I will do during the next minutes is that I want to focus on three main pillars I think that you need to think about when you are building the cyber strategy plan in your organization. The first one is to think about intelligence-led security, like I said. Until now, every vendors and every companies, might be standard companies or institutions and governments, everybody is working with the one-size-fits-all approach. You have a new concern, you understand that you need to buy something like machine learning, like AV, like firewall, and you said, okay, everybody is buying it, let's buy it, and I will be protected, maybe. The idea is you need to change the way that you are tackling the security by thinking about the attackers. And if you are looking about it, it's not new. The army is working like this since a decade, since several decades. The idea is to understand who is behind the attacks, what they are looking for, what are their TTPs, if I'm using the technical language here, the techniques, tools, and procedures they are using. And based on that, you will be able to start to build up your plans. You will be able to start to build up the threat modeling, the threat profiling, the attackers profiling, and to define what you want to do, what you want to be protected against. And one of the key pillars here is also the notion of hunting. I don't know if you use it on the day-to-day basis, but when you know what you are looking for, you know what you want to hunt for. You know what you want to find in your network, in your endpoint, to understand if they are already there, if they are doing something. And this is why one of the takeaways for my presentation and one of the focus I want to put during this presentation is clearly put the intelligence in the middle of your new strategy. Knowing what you want to protect is well known. It's like ISO 27005, risk management, everybody knows. Knowing against your attackers, how they are working, what they are looking for, which kind of campaigns they are running, this is what you need to do. You need to understand what you want to protect against who. And this is the intelligence way to do it. The second topic, if you want to be really, I will say, able to articulate the next steps after the intelligence, you need to be able to get the visibility in the network, in the endpoint, and all the components, including application. And this is something that we missed up. Everybody is going to the cloud. Everybody is going to several new options. At the end of the day, if you don't get the visibility, you are dying. I will take an example, a technical one. I know that we have some good technical people in the room and in the country, but in the room today, if you are looking at the APTs, the advanced attacks, most of them are using right now WMI and PowerShell. If you are not able to log information coming from those components, you are blind. It's all about visibility. You need to build up capabilities to collect information with one idea in the back in your mind, only one: speed. Time, time, time. This is the only thing you cannot buy. You can buy a lot of technologies, you can buy a lot of people, you can outsource the stuff. You cannot buy time. And this is where you need to think when you are building a plan on which tools, processes, and kind of people you need to put in place to be able to reduce the time between when the attackers are trying to enter to your network and when you are kicking them out. Within FireEye, we name it the dual time. This is, I will say, an acronym we are using. The idea is that we are calculating the time between when the attackers are able to enter to the network and when a consumer or an enterprise is able to understand that they are there. And you can see here in the picture in my back that the time is reducing is a good news. If I'm coming back 5 years ago, it was really high, and right now it's roughly if I'm good, is 99 days between the time that they are entering the network and the time that we are able to understand that they are there. The only issue is that when we are running any red teaming exercise or all those kind of stuff, we need between 7 minutes and 3 days to be domain admin, to exfiltrate information, or to be ready to pass a swift order for $1 billion. If you need 99 days to understand that we are there, it's too late. And the idea is not to put the fear here about the time and all this kind of stuff. The idea is just you need to put in place a metric when you are building your plan where the metric is how I can reduce the dwell time. Again, can be tools, technologies, can be people, and will be for sure processes. And the processes will be linked up to the intelligence. When you are working with government, you are talking a lot about the playbook. When the president is coming, and I will say the French president, for example, you see with my accent, when the French president needs to talk about something, everything has been documented before. All the playbooks are already existing. You have a lot of people who are working in the back to think about all the scenarios and all the possibilities. On the cyber, you need to make the same. You need to build up the plan on the intelligence, understanding the TTPs, to be able to build up the playbook on how to react and how to be fast when you are reacting. And this is something we are not doing right now. Right now, in the cyber in general, you are building up some correlation rules, you are taking the alerts, and you are trying to manage the alerts you are grabbing. You need to change the way you are thinking about. You need to know what I'm looking for, what are my playbook, and how I will tackle the situation. If I want to finish on time, because the time is really, I would say, a concern as of today, and I will try to be on time. In terms of takeaways, you need to think about the fact that intelligence is key. It's clearly the foundation of everything. Being equipped with the right tools is not how much you will protect, is not the percentage of the malware detection, is how the tools will fit with your processes and people to give you the right metrics in your plan. And if you think about this, just a few seconds, it changed totally. I'm not thinking and I'm not talking about the fact that you need to be or to buy a product with 99.999% of something. I said you need to understand what you want to do, which kind of process and which kind of metrics you are putting in place in terms of protection, and you need to define the tools who will fit with this, not the opposite. Not buying tools and try to build up metrics. And I will finish with this, and I said just build a plan, assess it, try it, and if you have any question, feel free to come during the week, and we will be open to discuss with you. Thank you very much for your time.